Breaking news. Islamic cleric Sheikh Ahmad Gumi has urged President Bola Tinubu to take decisive action against U.S. President Donald Trump following Trump's threat of military action against Nigeria. Gumi condemned the threat as an insult to Nigeria's sovereignty and called for an immediate diplomatic response. Let's now look at the history of Gumi. Sheikh Ahmad Gumi's mediation efforts between the Nigerian government and armed bandit groups have made him one of the most controversial figures in Nigeria's security landscape. While he presents his role as a necessary intervention for peace, widespread criticism has followed him, with many accusing him of legitimizing and even excusing the acts of violent criminals, including those perpetrating atrocities against Christian communities. Sheikh Gumi has become the most vocal advocate for dialogue with armed bandit groups in northern Nigeria, urging the government to negotiate peace settlements rather than deploy only military solutions. He has compared this approach to the deals once made with Niger Delta militants, calling for bandits to be rehabilitated instead of being labeled only as criminals. His mediation has included direct meetings in remote forests with groups responsible for kidnappings, killings, and mass abductions, including school children throughout states such as Zamfara, Kaduna, and Katsina. He has served as a channel for bandit grievances, arguing that the root causes of their violence are state neglect, dispossession, and injustice, notably citing herder complaints over land and grazing rights. Gumi's rhetoric often frames bandits as victims of circumstance who deserve understanding, amnesty, and compensation. He has publicly attacked government officials and journalists for calling the bandits terrorists or criminals, at times calling such labeling counterproductive and arguing that it prevents peace. Critics accuse Gumi of minimizing the horror inflicted on communities, including mass murders, rape, church razings, and systematic targeting of Christian settlements, by focusing almost exclusively on bandit grievances and advocating for their lenient treatment. Several state governors and security officials have openly rejected his approach, insisting that dialogue and amnesty have failed to curb violence, which continues against both Christians and Muslims, with significant atrocities targeting Christian populations. There is widespread suspicion, expressed in public commentary and among victims of violence, that Gumi's interventions help keep powerful bandit networks out of reach of full justice by pushing for repeated negotiations rather than supporting decisive action. In one prominent case, Gumi intervened after the mass abduction of students in Kaduna, communicating with kidnappers and providing assurances to parents, and then advocating for government negotiations, despite the group's record of violence. 1. His efforts often gain the attention and some support of local traditional leaders willing to try settlements but regularly break down, with many peace deals quickly falling apart and prompting renewed criticism of Gumi's Amnesty First model. While Sheikh Ahmad Gumi claims to be pursuing peace, the reality is that his mediation has enabled cycles of impunity for violent bandit leaders. His critics across political, civilian, and religious spectrums see his interventions not as neutral peacemaking, but as a vehicle for protecting or excusing terrorist actors, many of whom continue to wage devastating attacks on Christian and other civilian communities in Nigeria.